we're back for another episode of Chesed Marriage Podcast. We had some friends that came over that were here for, they actually went with us on the cruise, and there was something that they had mentioned about couples on the cruise, and I really felt like it was something that we needed to talk about, because I think as people continue to grow in their relationships, or as people continue to move forward, if you will, in their marriages, I think there's different facets of intimacy that could get lost. And so what they had talked about was there was this couple, or there were several different couples that he noticed, and those couples, while they were at dinner, they didn't talk to each other. They didn't even acknowledge that each other was there. It was just very cold. And he said that was from him looking on the outside. Of course, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. You never know what's going on with a couple. You never know what they're struggling with or dealing with. But the point is that what did we call it? It was lost intimacy.
The quiet things that kill intimacy. Quiet things that kill
intimacy. And we've said before, intimacy it's a facet. I mean, sexual attraction, the physical touch is a facet of intimacy, but it goes quite a bit deeper than that. And so we were going to talk about the unmet expectations, busy schedules, and
unmet expectations, and then
I said unmet expectations, busy schedules, and then
emotional distance.
Emotional distance, yeah.
Are slipping into the friendship mode.
Yes, exactly.
Or roommate mode, excuse me.
Roommate mode. And so I know for us, something that's very real right now is busy schedules. Real estate never sleeps. I'm still learning boundaries. I'm still learning when to say no, and I'm still learning that it's okay to say no, because I'm a people pleaser, and I really try to, be there for other people. But I don't know if it's easy for you, those of you that are watching or listening. Do you find it easier to please people that aren't your spouse? Or do you find it easier to please your spouse? And to be honest, I think I find myself trying to make other people happy other than my spouse.
Well, why do you think that is? Because I think I have a theory on that. Why it's easier to say no to a spouse than it is a client or work or a ministry or something else. Well, why do you think it's easier to
say yes to somebody else that's not you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You want to know my theory?
Sure.
My theory is that our love is strong enough that I'm never going to walk away. And it's okay if I get hurt, because I'll still be there, because I'll understand. But you don't know if those relationships are strong enough to handle it. Because when you look at the people that say yes to everybody but no to the people closest to them, it's usually the people that have the strongest relationship with them are the ones that they're willing to disappoint. Mm. But I think subconsciously it's because they know that they'll still be there.
Yeah.
And they're afraid that the other people may not be there if something doesn't go their way. And I'm going to say
doesn't that bother you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it bothers me. Because it feels like you're second or third or fourth or last place. It feels like you're devalued. Well, in reality, you're valued because it's saying, I know. It used to bother me a lot more than it does now. It still bothers me now, but it used to bother me a whole lot more.
Am I getting better?
Sometimes. It's seasons. I say no to everything.
This is true.
But
this is true.
I said yes to everything for a while, especially when we first got married.
When Michael says that he says no to everything, let me clarify. For example, my and we talked about this today, actually. My ideal day is having a scheduled meeting, going to meet someone for coffee, going to run an errand, visiting. I mean, my ideal day and what I would call successful is having anywhere from 3 to, I mean, I think we've had 6 events in one day before. And
like I was legit events, like birthdays,
lunches baby
with
showers,
people,
lunches,
showers,
coffee
people
dates,
at the house,
errands that we have to run. So there's, I mean, with both of us have big families, and so I don't want to disappoint my family, like my mom and, you know, my parents and things like that. I don't want to disappoint them. So, you know, we will make a way to make those things happen. So I will go 90 to nothing. I mean, I will go until I drop.
Literally, I'll carry her in the house and she'll drop on the couch and fall asleep. But if somebody will call her and be like, "Hey, I need help. Can you do this?" Yep, and she'll wake up and just go.
I had somebody call me one time. I was asleep on the couch, dead asleep on the couch, and I had a text message that came in and was like, "Hey, I need to make a balloon arch for a birthday party tomorrow. Can I come over?" And it was like 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And this person came over and we made a balloon arch.
But if I like, the part that hurts though is if I'm like wanting to have a conversation or trying to talk with you.
Or wanting to have
time.
Nutella and banana.
And you're like, it's too late, I'm tired. That's when you feel devalued.
Yeah. Because
it's like you're willing to expend energy on your friends or these other relationships or frankly people that don't matter in the long run. Like you're not going to have so don't say they don't matter. The relationship isn't an eternal relationship. And then it feels like you get the back burner when you're told, yeah, we'll deal with it later. Mm-hmm. Or maybe sometime we'll deal with that. Or we'll talk, you know. And, but my theory on that, because, I mean, like I said, it used to eat me up. But when I was praying a lot about it, I felt like the Lord was reframing it as it's actually a compliment that she trusts you so much. That she trusts you so much that she's okay to actually tell you no because she's not comfortable telling anyone else no. Mm-hmm. But she's comfortable telling you no because she feels safe with you. And I was like, yeah, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
But that's just how I feel. I'm just...
No, and I appreciate that. You know, I do try to not... And I am getting better. I am getting better at saying no.
Because we said now max 3 events a day. That's it. And she'll book more than 3, and I'll tell her, pick which one I'm not going to. Yeah. Well, they'll get upset. I don't care. Like
this was last weekend. We had a shower here. We had the privilege of hosting a shower, and Michael had my phone, and he saw that I got a notification or a reminder. It was a reminder for a birthday party.
And I was like, "Hey, what's this birthday party?" She's like, "Oh, I told them you and the kids were going." And I'm like, "It's in 10 minutes, and the kids have friends over here all playing. We're sitting in the middle of the shower. We got like 30, 40 people at our house." And she's like, "Yeah, just go to the birthday after the shower. Oh, and by the way, I got 2 client showings that I need you there too in the next hour and a half." And I'm like,
so we had the baby shower, we had the birthday party.
Mind you, the baby shower is still going, so we still have to clean up. Yeah. Like the whole kitchen's full of food. There's literally people all through the house. And so it's like the only way to go is to kick them all out of the house.
No, and there's grace in that because people, we've truly been so incredibly blessed with the community that we have. And, I mean, it's really just an extension of family, just with different last names. And but, I mean, that's just to explain that busy schedules is something that pushes us away from one another, and that's unintentionally.
Well, it's intentional because we say yes, but the consequences are unintentional.
Yes, okay.
Because we were intentional in booking it.
I'm intentional in booking it, and again, that's something. Of course, I know that that's part of my personality is just wanting to always be around people and, you know, really feeling fulfilled when I get to do all these different things. But busy schedules will drive a wedge in between, you know, can very easily drive a wedge.
Well, and I think the reason they drive a wedge in particular, or they're a silent killer to intimacy, is the key for intimacy in this relationship is trust and vulnerability.
Yeah.
And respect. right? It doesn't
So,
always, hang on.
Okay.
It doesn't always mean we're going to make each other happy and give each other everything they've ever wanted.
Right.
But if you don't feel like I truly have your best interest at heart, you're going to shut down, right? And vice versa. It's hard for me to stay emotionally available if I don't feel like you actually have my best interest at heart. And there's been periods where I don't feel like that, right? And but I know your heart, and I know you're not a malicious person. I know you love me second to Jesus, and I know that, but it doesn't feel that way, right? And so that's when it goes back to love's a choice, not a feeling. And you have to remind yourself, because in that moment, the emotions are real. The frustration's real. The chasm that it feels like between us is real.
Well, you had said, you just mentioned that having that kind of relationship or having that kind of intimacy, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and held accountable. And so I think whenever you expose yourself over and over to someone that you care most about, you leave, like you said, you leave yourself vulnerable. And it's like, I don't ever want you to feel that I'm abusing that trust that you have in me for you to be able to feel like you have that vulnerability.
And I've never felt like you've done it on purpose. I feel like it's been incidental. Because you, like I said, because you're comfortable with me enough to say, hey, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like you don't have, it's like you're not comfortable telling people you have limits. Like you have capacities that are met, that are reached, right? Like I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
But it is, oddly enough, it's actually a form of intimacy that you're willing to tell me, hey, I'm at my limit. Right? Because you're actually opening up, but I didn't see it that way. Now, I don't always see it that way in the moment now, right? I can still get frustrated, right? I mean, like, earlier today I was frustrated because I was like, there's only 2 things I asked, and like neither one of them got. I was like, neither one of them got done, and it made me feel like I was this big because you're like, I got all these things done, I did everything that I wanted, and blah 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 blah.
I didn't get everything that I wanted.
Well, it was like you're like, I got most things I wanted to get. It was such a good day, and I was just like, and so. But then I get
your mom's birthday card? Did I get, what was the other thing you asked me to get?
The mishap on the scheduling of who's picking up who and what we were doing and how it took longer because I was like, I need to pick Soph up and just go. But then we were late because we still needed to go back, which then put us like 30 minutes later. But it ended up working out.
Because his parents forgot the birthday cake.
But it ended up potentially putting us in another bind, and I felt disrespected because I was like,
You just asked me to do 2 things.
I was like, this is one of the few events that I actually plan. And the enemy's like, well, it doesn't matter to her because she didn't plan it. And it's like, I'm going to choose not to believe that because I know my wife and I know that she cares. But that's how the enemy starts putting that seed in you, right? And if you let it fester,
then it becomes distance, emotional distance.
Which is, it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. Like Scripture says.
I was just going into
take every thought captive and hold it to the Word.
Right. So emotional distance
is if I would have let that then root, then I start pulling back. It's like, well, if Megan doesn't care about me, if I'm not a priority to her, then why am I going to treat her as a priority?
And I think a lot of times I've heard friends say, he doesn't treat me the way that I treat him.
Or what I deserve.
Yeah, he doesn't treat me the way that I deserve. I mean, to be frank, we deserve death. Like, we do. And I think culture and society has allowed people to believe that they're entitled. Truly we are in an entitlement society. And I unfortunately find myself sometimes in that, I need my time, I need my space, I need a moment for me. And those may be phrases that are catchphrases, but the intention and the root of it is selfishness because you're wanting an escape. And so I think with emotional distancing, whenever intentionally or unintentionally you receive a behavior that I'm portraying, and it allows you to have unforgiveness in your heart, and you allow it to fester, like you said, it gives you ammo to come against me.
It feels like you have ammo.
Right, it feels like you have legitimate ammo.
Or it amps you up to want to fight.
Right. And I think that that's something that's very, very common that we hear nowadays.
Well, and you see it in couples.
Well, and I know we've seen it in each other.
Yeah.
Like there was one time recently where there's something that Michael and I are working through, and something that I have asked several times. And whenever I feel like you're not
meeting a goal that you have in your mind,
right,
how it
that
should
needs
look,
to happen,
then it's like, well, are you even doing anything?
And it makes me feel like
well, you've told me, you're like, it's like you don't care about me.
If you're willing to put that much attention
into other things, but not what I asked you to, it makes me feel like you just don't care about me.
I feel like it gives me the right, or it gives me the ammo to just very slowly push myself away from you, because it's like, why am I going to keep allowing myself to be vulnerable, to be emotionally connected, when I don't even feel like you're reciprocating the feeling?
Which I think is a critical point. Should we only be vulnerable or try to pursue intimacy if it's reciprocated?
No. That's not what Christ did.
Right. And that's, I think, the hardest part in intimacy, is still choosing to pursue. And I'm not just saying, I'm not saying like I'm gonna hump my wife's leg off you and she's not excited. I'm not talking about like that, right? I'm talking about pursuing, should I keeping my heart in a position to be reconciled or to be available for my spouse, even when they don't appear that they're reciprocating that.
That's so hard. I mean, and that's
where I'm at, though. That's not where I'm at. That's what I'm saying, though, because that's the part that's hard. Because it's like, well, you cut me, I'm gonna cut you, or why should I keep sticking myself out on this limb when you're just whacking the limb, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, and I hear that so often in different circles that I'm in, and I think the natural reaction is, he's not doing it for me, so on him, or just, I mean, it's. Like I said, the root issue is selfishness, and
it's conditional love,
that's not a characteristic of how God designed marriage.
If you look at it, the best example that we go back to anytime we have a question about marriages, the church is called the bridegroom of Christ,
right?
And Christ is a reflection of the husband. The church is a reflection of the wife, mm-hmm. right? The church doesn't drive Christ to where he needs to be.
No, it was his love.
But in a marriage, how many times do you see a wife try to drive a husband to where she needs to be, where she thinks he needs to be?
Oh, well, it's constant.
But so I'm making a parallel, though. Mm-hmm. We would never say that about a church, but in a marriage, we're like, well, if I think he needs to be there, I should drive him there, or vice versa. And I'm about to get to that point. Christ never forces the church, his bride, either. He's a gentleman. He woos, he asks, right? Mm-hmm. And a husband should never demean and drive his wife and demand his wife to get to a place either. Like Christ doesn't do that either, right? Mm-hmm. But in that picture, when the church submits to Christ's leadership, and Christ dies for his bride, you have unconditional love because they're both completely surrendered to the betterment of each other. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's the hard part, because why do I want to die for my spouse when my spouse is the one burying me?
How do I know that I'm going to get anything out of it?
And you don't. And that's the choice, not the feeling. I remember I had that exact... Remember when I told you that story? It was like year 5 or whatever, when we were married, and I said, if I don't stand up for me, who will? Because Megan won't. And that's when we just kept fighting, right? And we were struggling a lot. Yeah. And I was like, but God, if I just love her and I don't stand up for myself, who's going to stand up for me? And he's like, what do you think I do? Mm. Why do you think you need to be stood up for? Mm. And I was just like, and it made me realize I was fighting myself, because the two became one, to try to justify myself. Like, how idiotic is that?
I mean, but that's the nature that we're in.
But we don't see it that way. That's my point.
Right, because it's countercultural.
And so when you slow down and you recognize the behavior, if I'm cutting my husband off, or I'm cutting my spouse off, my wife, I'm cutting part of myself off.
Right.
How do I think I'm ever going to function properly?
Yeah.
And then I wonder why our relationship isn't functioning. It's like me cutting off one of my limbs and being like, how do I not meet the productivity of this person next to me that's got all their limbs? And that's the insidious part. And then we compare it to another relationship that, well, we're not even privy to what's actually happening in the relationship. It's the perception of the relationship. And then we're like, I married a broken person. If I found the right spouse, that's the lie. If I found the right person.
Or we just don't vibe anymore.
We don't click, we don't vibe. All right. Or my spouse is broken. I've heard people say that before too. Well, more than once.
We don't vibe anymore.
I haven't heard that one.
I'm so over that.
That must be more of a female thing.
Well, I mean,
I haven't heard guys say vibing.
Yeah. They just say things like, well, he just doesn't get me. I've heard that. He doesn't get me.
Mine, it's like the wife cares more about the kids or something else, right? Or I'm just really leaning into my career right now so I can really solidify stuff.
Right. And again, that puts things out of order. That's not God's order nor his design.
So that's busy schedules, right?
Busy schedules, emotional
distance.
And
the emotional distance, the other thing it looks like, we call it roommate syndrome.
Yeah.
And we dealt with that. We still deal with that at times when things get
so busy
and
and the reason why we brought these three together, the reason why we're bringing these three up, is because they really overlap a lot of times. And really, you just have to be very sharp-minded and just ask the Holy Spirit to find the roots that are in you that are causing you. I know for me, I've had to do that several times. And I've had to pull back and ask the Lord, is this activity something that is going to bring, number one, you glory? Number two, am I facilitating an opportunity for kingdom development? And number three, or number three, doesn't need to meet all three of those, but or number three, is this going to edify my marriage, or is this going to edify my relationship? Because second to God and God alone is this right here. And a lot of times I find myself in that same rut where most moms in their career with kids find themselves. It's like, you should never question, am I going to choose my career and my kids or my friends over my spouse? That should never be something that goes across your mind. And if I'm honest, I've had that cross my mind several times because it's out of convenience, or it's because we have that emotional distance between us. And because I'm allowing those other things to get in the way, I tell myself, I don't have the energy to deal with it. And it's really unfortunate because I know that I'm not alone in going through that. So busy schedules, emotional distance, and...
I keep my mouth shut. There was a point I was going to make there, but I won't make it.
No, go ahead. It's okay. Say it. Say what you need to say.
I don't like, and I can get backlash for this, it's fine. I got thick skin. It really bothers me, one of the trends that's going on right now, when I half jokingly, I was sarcastic when I said it earlier when we were talking, and not on camera, but when we were talking, but it really does bother me how much people say how stressful mom life, mom guilt, mom this, mom that.
We did talk about that, yeah.
And they act like the father is completely incompetent and doesn't deal with anything. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, you go on social media and how many reels do they have about
mom guilt,
mom life, mom this, mom that. And I'm not saying it's not there, but the insinuation is that
the dad never goes through that because he just comes home, grabs a beer, watches football, and shuts down.
Or is completely emotionally detached or should just deal with it.
Yeah.
And that the thing that, and it bothers me because in so many conversations we've had with couples, there's like, it'll come up and they're like, well, why I shouldn't have to have this much stress or this much anxiety, right? As a mom, I have to carry all this weight. It's like, no, you don't.
You don't. You're just choosing to.
You're choosing to. And it's like, perfect example, whenever we were talking about going back to work after the kids. And I'm gonna use us because I don't want to bash on anybody else. And I trust that we have a strong enough relationship that you won't get frustrated with me. But it's like, Michael, I want to go back to work, but how can I go back to work and be away from my kids all day? I'm like, you're right, I've done it for 15 years. But it's an expectation for me. And I should just get over it. Right? And it's, my kids are sick and I'm not there. I can't imagine, I can't be there, I can't this. It's like, I went 3 months with Soph being in the hospital and I couldn't go see her because I had to go pay for the bed slot. But people don't, the dads are expected to just
suck it up and deal with it.
But they be emotionally available and be sensitive and that's what a lot of the guys deal with this and they struggle with it, but they don't want to bring it up.
Well, I'm so glad you're bringing it up.
Because like, that's the part that frustrates me because you and I have talked about it and I've brought it up to you before.
Yeah.
And so, hear me, I'm not bashing my wife by showing vulnerability, by saying, mom guilt this or that. I'm not. But what I'm saying is...
don't over sensationalize it.
And don't act like the husband is emotionally dead. Most men are very emotional. They're either numb...
honestly, I mean, okay, so since we're going there, I think a lot of men now are so emotionally unavailable because that's been the expectation that's been set.
Yes.
And they're just like, if this is the norm, then this is the norm. Everybody understands.
Or if I show it, you emasculate me for showing it.
Right.
So I'm just not going to have it.
I'm just not, I mean...
or act like it's not there. So then they numb it with alcohol, work, sports, porn, whatever. It's an addiction to numbing it to get an endorphin high, gaming, whatever, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Just like moms will numb stuff too with baking, just like earlier when you told me, right? You're like, it's relaxing to me, right?
Yeah.
But you know what the first thought, let's go full transparency tonight. You know what the first thought that went through my head? You're like, it calms me down, it slows me down, I like all this stuff, right? Remember how much you chewed me out when I first started smoking meat? And you're like, it wastes the whole day. You sit at home, you don't do anything, you do all this stuff for what?
When I
did the same thing.
Just to clarify, I don't know if you heard it. Smoking meat.
Yeah, smoking meat.
Brisket and barbecue. He had bought this, and we still have it, and that thing has been such a blessing.
I was gonna say, don't bash it.
It has been such a blessing.
It's fed so many people.
No, and
my friend that does not like being named taught me how to use it. I'd make sure he has his credit.
And
I want him to make sure.
And it has fed people for our housewarming parties, which that was an idea that I had.
We've fed hundreds, if not thousands, of people off that pit.
It's truly been a blessing.
But at first you would chew me out for it. Like, how could you waste all this time and sit here for what? What are you doing?
Because here was my expectation.
No, I know.
The laundry wasn't done. The house was dirty. The kids were running around. Of course, What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm out showing houses. I'm doing open houses, or whatever it may be that I was doing with my job.
Right, and you're like, I'm working, and I was like, you're right. I'm not working during the week.
So true.
Right.
It's so true.
And then we have a strong enough relationship. She knows I'm not bashing her, but I feel like we're supposed to air out the things that you may not be saying to each other as you're watching this. And maybe it'll allow you, spark enough in you to say
have a conversation.
But how many times did you tell me during year 3 to 7, I wish I could just go to work and check out like you did?
I told him that he was just going on a vacation. I was like, it must be so nice, because this is what he would tell me. He would tell me I would go to my office, and as soon as I get to my office, I have to shut the door for at least the first 30 minutes because I have to give myself that time to, and again, I'm saying the language that's very common. I have to give myself that time. What he was saying is he really needed to submit to the Lord in that moment because he's been entrusted with a job where he has to make decisions for a lot of people. And, just driving to work, he always calls me on his way to work. And so we have that conversation while he's on the way, which is, it's important because it's continuing to strengthen that intimacy. Even the 15-minute drive that he takes from dropping off Sophia to talking to me in the car, whether it's with the kids in the car or not, I know that he's thinking of me and that I'm top of mind. So,
which was a trick for me, because I know a lot of times once my day starts, I don't get to actually look at my phone until 5
very
o'clock.
true. He could be in a ditch somewhere and I would never know, because I will text him, and it's not a knock on him, but it's just, the whole point is that he used that time to really ask the Holy Spirit, what do you have for me today at work? And I know that because I know my husband. And so, with that, I mean, I think it's very, very important to establish that and understand how important that time was to you. But in my head, I was like, wow, it must be nice to get to work and have, 30 minutes. Now, this is when I was teaching.
And you'd go, I can't even pee without somebody knocking on the door, which was true, right? Because you had kids in the classroom all the time.
The kids in the classroom, or I was here at home during summer.
Right.
Because again, that was a privilege that was entrusted by being able to be home during the summer when I was teaching. And then now the schedule that the Lord's allowed has brought a lot more flexibility. But the grass is always greener on the other side. And everything seems so much better than your pasture where you're in. But I would get so frustrated with him, and I would tell him, you literally get to go on vacation every single day. You have 30 minutes of vacation to yourself. And he was like, is that what you think I do? I said, yeah. Yeah, that is what, I mean, do tell. Please tell me. What do you do?
Then she got to see it during COVID when I worked from home. And she was like, I don't want your job.
I'm so thankful. I really am. It's kind of one of those things where I'm thankful that I cannot see things in the spiritual realm. And I know people that have that. They can see things, and this isn't to be spooky or weird or anything like that. I say that because I'm thankful that that's not something that the Lord's entrusted to me. I don't want that responsibility. But He allows that for other people.
So, I think part of roommate mode, our emotional distance, is we're not willing to empathize and put ourselves in the other person's situation to see how they perceive it. We only want to see it from our perspective and how it affects us.
Right.
You feel like that'd be a fair statement?
100%.
There's a fourth one I want to ad-lib that I feel like I want to bring up, that we need to bring up.
Did we talk about the third one?
Yeah. We had schedules. We had uncommunicated expectations.
I mean, we kind of blended those two with emotional distancing.
And emotional distances.
Yeah, we blended.
But I mean, uncommunicated expectations weaves through all of it, right? Because it's like I have an expectation, but I just don't bring it up. I don't say it, or I don't even realize it's an expectation that I've placed on them because it's a cultural thing that I grew up with, right? Like
something that okay. So this is something that we had to talk about. He had asked me very kindly if there was something, because we were able to pay things. We were starting to be able to pay things off. We're at a point right now where the Lord's just been so incredibly faithful with finances, and we've been able to pay some things off. So it's not a whole lot, but it has opened up an opportunity of some flex spending, if you will. And Michael asked me, what is something that would help facilitate peace in our home? And he said it in a way that it wasn't, what is something that you want that will make you happy? Because he's not feeding into the entitlement. It was just very specific on how he asked. He said, what is something that we can do as a family that will facilitate peace in our home? And 6 people in a house, maybe 2 to 3 outfits a day, 7 days a week. You can do the math. Laundry was adding up very, very quickly. And with busy schedules and children that are still pretty young, the laundry would pile up. And so I had an unmet expectation that I thought we were all going to do laundry together because this is all of our clothes. We all live here. And it was beginning to drive a wedge in me even wanting to be home. It would pile up on the couch. I would wash it and I would start to fold it. I would get overwhelmed, and then I would find an escape route. I would ask if I could go run errands. I would ask if I could go get groceries, anything to escape. And that was creating an emotional distance between us. And so he graciously asked, what is something that we can do that can facilitate peace?
It just wasn't like I'm sitting there staring at the laundry not doing it. I would fold.
Which he totally would. He not sit and stare at it. He would help fold, but it would still stay on the couch. It would still not get completely done. I mean, it just adds up. I don't know if you guys have big families or not, but it's very, very real for us. So we budgeted where every 2 weeks, budgeted every 2 weeks, where we have found a laundromat.
A laundry service.
Yeah, a laundry service that allows wash and fold.
Or we drop off, or they'll pick up,
we drop it off.
They'll take care of it for us, and then it helps ease the logistics of the home on that.
And it has helped tremendously.
I thought she was messing around, but physically the first 2 times they did it, like, she was actually giddy, which was odd to me. Like, she was literally, like, giddy and laughing around the house rather than, like, frustrated and upset. And I was like... It was odd to me because it doesn't take... It's not that... Like, it doesn't change my mood, right? But it does for her.
It did. It changed my mood. And it's really... It changed my mood in a bad way whenever there were just clothes everywhere. And because I explained that unmet expectation that he was willing to help facilitate peace in our home, it helped a lot. So if that's something that you want, I encourage it.
Well, you gotta budget it.
Yeah, you have to budget it. Right. It is a huge luxury.
You get to
one
the point
that
where
I am very thankful for. I will sell bread to have clean laundry.
Okay, we'll tell that side story because they'll get a good laugh. So after she did it, she looked at me, she goes, how much extra would we have to make so I never have to fold laundry again? And I looked at her, and so after the first few times, I've figured out what our average laundry load, because it's by the pound, per week is, and I gave her a dollar amount. I said, well, if you could bake enough sourdough and sell it and make this much a month, I could get rid of the washer and dryer and I'll make you a micro bakery in the laundry room. And she's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no. And I was like, if you sell whatever, and I told her the amount, I was like, that can subsidize all of our laundry so we don't have to do our laundry. She's like, all right. So
I'm learning all these recipes and different things to do, and I'm gonna actually start it.
Honestly though, I think there's value in that, because it's comical, right? Because we're talking about laundry, right? Everybody's got laundry, but we took something that was a stressor driving us apart, and we used both of our strengths, and then reframed it in a perspective of, it's like, look, the laundry's got to get done one way or another.
Yeah.
Groceries got to get bought one way or another. We got to eat. Meals got to get made one way or another, right? Communicate and figure out a way that works for you.
Yeah.
And if you absolutely cannot or will not do it, something that has to be done like that, if there's something you enjoy doing that you can make an income off of on the side that could subsidize the cost,
do it.
Well, I'm up for doing it. Some people are like, no, that's just laziness, just do it. And it's like, well, if you're willing to trade labor, I have a different perspective on it. If you're willing to bake or to do something else that can make the money to subsidize paying someone else that's willing to do that for you, if you don't
have it, if you don't have the...
If you don't want to do that or you can't do that, right? I'm okay with that, right? But I easily could have been like, that's just laziness. Let's just get off our butt and do it. But all that would have done was keep driving a wedge, right?
I really appreciate you letting me have the laundry service. It has done wonders.
The fourth one, though.
Yeah, this is a new one. We're not. This is.
It won't be a new one once I say it, and you'll be like, oh. The fourth one, I think that's very prevalent. Thinking through the trip, and we had a lot of time for reflection on the trip, like just looking around, right? And
I really want one of those little egg pods. They had these amazing little pods that we sat in. I actually took the best nap in one. But it was on the very, very top deck right next to the putt-putt. And it allowed,
at the front of the ship.
At the front of the ship. The kids were playing putt-putt. And it had this... It literally looked like a half eggshell.
Well, it was a 5-foot diameter chair that was an eggshell that you could fit, 2 to 4 people in sitting. And then Megan just laid down and took a nap in it while I was sitting there and I was reading a book.
Yeah.
about money models. But anyways,
Okay.
The point I was going to get at, looking at that and then paying attention, coming back, and then checking myself. One of the quiet things I think that kills intimacy that's even more subtle right now is cell phones.
Cell phones, yeah, for sure.
Because it's so easy. You don't have to have equipment for sourdough. You don't have to have equipment for barbecuing. You don't have to have equipment for a hobby. Most people have it for just functioning, right? And those devices are programmed to feed your addictions, to feed your endorphins. That's how they get the ads. They feed you things, it's reading your face to see what excites you.
Yeah.
And it literally sends you things that you love and things that you hate, the things that drive emotions, because it drives addiction to it. And so it feeds you what you want to see, and it creates an echo chamber of whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to see, whatever you think reality is. Like, and I say that meaning if you think the world's falling apart and you are always looking for things like that, it'll keep feeding you everything.
Yeah.
As one of your mentors says, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that post about the world falling apart, it'll feed you every one of those to reinforce the mindset that it's falling apart.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, so if you think the right is the Antichrist, it'll feed you everything that says the Republican Party is the Antichrist. If you think Democrats are, it'll tell you the Democrat. And a lot of times it'll even come from the same newspapers. The articles will actually flip-flop, right? And
most of my feed is sourdough and sourdough recipes.
Right, but that's
mini farms.
But that's what you're interested in. So what I'm saying though is it feeds the addiction to make it easier to escape in that rather than invest in your relationship. And we were talking about...
You brought it up because I purposefully left my phone on airplane mode. I recorded the first...
You record at times too.
I recorded while we were getting on the boat. And then after the trip was over and we were coming home, I started recording, getting ready to disembark off the ship. So,
but even in that though, seeing a difference in your personality, and I'm not bashing you, we've talked about it, you're more susceptible to getting consumed by it than I just, my disposition, I'll read, I don't watch, I watch some videos, but I read a lot on there. But it consumes you and it feeds you, and like sourdough and mini farms, right? And we were talking about, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't remember who we were talking to, but we were talking about how God likens our relationship to a garden. And a garden can be the most beautiful thing that feeds your family and sustains life, but also can be a jungle and consume stuff. And the difference is how much you tend it. You can have the same seeds, the same plants, the same soil, same environment. The only difference between a tamed garden that gives life and one that consumes and destroys things is how well it's tended. And it's harder to tend a relationship. If you and I are great right now, right? If I don't put energy into this relationship, odds are even by lunchtime tomorrow we could have an issue.
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't do something in the morning that there was an expectation or vice versa.
Oh my goodness, y'all. So we had been, so back-to-back events, and then we had...
This is hilarious. I think I know where you're going. This is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, back-to-back events, and then it just got busy.
We just got back from the cruise. 18 hours later, we had the shower, and then we had something else.
There were, I don't know how many bags of trash.
We had 14 bags of trash, because the whole trash can was full, and I had another 7 regular trash bags, and then I had 2 industrial, 70-gallon trash bags in the garage. So,
I walk outside
on Monday. You come in and wake me up. You come and wake me up asleep on Monday that we were off, at 8 a.m. and you're like, we missed the trash. I'm like, we? There's a mouse in your pocket? And you're like, yeah, you didn't take the trash out. I was like, I was asleep. Who was awake? Yeah. But you had an expectation that I should have known that the trash was coming. I had an expectation. And I should have woke up and ran out there glistening and skipped to the curb, pushing the trash.
I was so mad, and I didn't talk to you.
You didn't. You were mad at me.
I was mad at you.
Because the garage smelled, because there was trash sitting in there from your impromptu.
I don't do well with smells.
From your party that you You threw 18 hours after we got back.
I was so mad. But it was...
and you were playing with Judah.
Yeah.
In the living room when the trash truck went by. But she knew enough that it was coming to come tell me that we missed it.
I was so mad. And then we missed it on Monday. This last Monday. So I put it out on Wednesday.
You put it on recycle day.
Wednesday's recycle day.
And then you got mad that they didn't take it on recycle day.
I got mad because it got wet.
Because you put it out on recycle day. Well,
I was so mad.
I can't help you. That's not my fault that you put it out on the wrong day.
Oh, man.
It's the same day every week.
I was having a rough day.
But the point, though, with the phones is be mindful that it's easy to get consumed. Like, I get frustrated even if... My favorite one, it's still one of the ones that gets me, is when we drive on a drive. 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're on your phone the whole time, right? I love talking to you when we drive. I like talking when I drive. It annoys you sometimes how much I'll talk when we drive.
It puts me to sleep when he talks to me because...
Which annoys me because I'm like, I finally got you confined. And I got you confined in a space so you can't run away.
But it's a good thing. You can't do anything.
And I want to talk to you and then you're...
It's a good thing. It's because your voice emits...
You're like, it's so soothing.
Yes. It emits a relaxation in me. It's amazing.
Or at least it's something.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And he does every day. And, but even like today when we drove back the 45 minutes today from dinner, from the birthday party, and I was wanting to talk to you, I tried 3 or 4 times to start a conversation, and you're like scrolling the whole time. But then what cracks me up is then the moment we get home or we get to where we're going, and like mom mode's got to kick back in, and then you're like, what are you doing looking at your phone? I'm like, I just didn't have a 3-hour break. Like, I've been having to concentrate the last 3.5 hours or whatever.
So you brought up cell phones because you noticed a difference in my demeanor while we were on the boat.
Well, and just people in general, you'll watch them, right? Because the other part of that conversation was the majority of those people weren't communicating with the person at the table.
That's how we started.
But they were on their phone.
Yeah.
And that's what brought up to my mind thinking through that, and that it's a lot easier now to get sucked into a rabbit hole on your phone because it'll feed you what you want to see or hear, when a lot of times with your spouse in particular, they see all the warts and ugliness, and so it's a lot more work to keep that relationship. So when we first, after we had gone to several different marriage conferences, I was really good for maybe the first 3 days after the conference of keeping my phone in the center console or in the glove box while we were in the car. I need to get back on that. Well, I mean, and I understand things happen, you need to take care of stuff, right? But
it was already, so between Emmaus and real estate and answering a group me about what's happening tomorrow, whatever it may be, I was answering those messages. And then, but why aren't you any more important than those things?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm still trying to find that out.
No, exactly. That's my point.
But that goes back to the first one, right?
Yeah.
That's where that's like unmet or uncommunicated expectations, right?
So are you telling me now that and it's on camera, your expectation when we get in the car, when we're going on a date, you want me to turn my phone off or just leave it?
If we're on a date, yes. 100%. 100% if we're on a date.
Okay.
Because we had a problem for the first 6 years that we couldn't go on a date by ourselves.
This is true. I always had to have a friend.
And it felt like, and I remember asking one time when I was
literally... It's like, who was going with us? What do you mean? You and me are just going on it? Why? What's the matter?
I literally was crying one night. I don't cry a lot. And I remember crying. I was like, why can't you just go on a date with me? Why do you always have to have someone else? And you were like, why?
I remember.
And I just looked at you and I was like, I'm trying to open up my heart here, and you're just like, why?
Why?
It's like, done. I'm waiting another 5 years. It's like a lunar eclipse.
So a date would consist of the kids are not in the car with us. It's just
we're gonna get technical. If we're purposely going on a date, birthday parties, normal driving, whatever. I'm not a dictator. If we're going on a date where we're intentionally trying to spend time with each other, I want to spend time with each other.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine. I know it'll drive you crazy looking at my phone. I got 300 missed notifications right now. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because whatever's in front of me is what the Lord's placed here for me to deal with. And when I get a chance to look at them, I'll look at them and I'll deal with them. If they're that important, they'll call. And if I miss a text, I miss a call and all that, then I'll realize it and I'll call them. Or I won't, and we'll deal with it.
No, I need to get better.
But no, it's not getting better. I'm communicating an expectation, because I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong.
No, I take it as...
What I'm just saying is that I would prefer having... We already don't have a lot of one-on-one time.
Yeah.
And if we do, I'm not going to compete with the phone. I'll either put it under the car and smash it.
Or...
I'll shoot it.
Or I'll just keep it in the glove box.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to compete with the phone. If I'm competing with the phone, I'll just get rid of the phone. Because I'm not going to compete with the phone. Okay. And then we'll go back to the smoke signals. And then...
Okay. So... But
the point of that, though, is if it's normal day-to-day stuff, I understand you have to deal with stuff, right? But even then it's, hey, let me deal with this, and then I want to have a conversation, because there's not a lot of time that we're in the same place, same time, for 20, 30 minutes at a time where we can actually have conversations. And if we are having that and we're in that space together and we have that opportunity, I would rather use it to build our relationship than anything else.
Duly noted.
Because I want the kids to see that too. That's
true. It's a really good model. And I actually did that to Judah tonight. I was on my phone, I was answering a text message, and then I had someone send me a notification on GroupMe. And then I went from text message to GroupMe to email notification, and then put my phone down, and then another text came up. And Judah, throughout those 4 instances, my baby had to repeat the question like 3 times because I didn't hear what he said, and that's so bad.
Well, what it's showing, though, too, goes back to the original. It shows them in the moment whatever else I'm dealing with is more important.
Yeah, and I don't.
And that's not what we mean, but that's how it's perceived.
That's how it's perceived, right? I think.
Which is why then he shuts down at a certain point, right? And that's when he just like walks away.
So then I gave Michael the phone the rest of the night, and I didn't pick it up. I just talked with him, and I realized. Michael said. He doesn't have very many friends, so he facilitated and created one with Judah. And hearing these two talk, it was really, really sweet. I appreciated it, so I'm glad. But I think that was good. So don't allow cell phones, unmet expectations,
emotional
distancing, and
cell phone. I already went blank.
I don't remember. Okay, so take the cell phones out. Emotional distancing.
Busy schedules.
Okay, that's what it was.
But they all feed into each other. You notice all of them are distractions, right?
Yes.
And it's one of 2 things. We've talked about it on many topics. The enemy doesn't care if he gets you in one ditch or the other, as long as he gets you in a ditch. Either if you're completely unproductive and you don't do anything, or you're so productive you're not, or you're so busy you're not actually productive at doing what he's called you to. The way I think about it, though, is the needs of people haven't increased from Jesus' time. Mm-hmm. And think how many people were following him, asking him for things.
Right, all the time. And he was constantly getting interrupted.
And you notice there's not a single verse in there about rebuking being interrupted.
Nope, never.
It's actually kind of the opposite.
He embraced it.
It's like, bring the children to me. Don't stop them. Don't hinder them.
Yeah.
Right?
Or it's a beautiful thing what she's doing to me, and what she's doing will be talked about her.
The other point, though, that I feel like I need to just make a distinction, and I know it's not this application isn't what you meant to not do, but I think there's a biblical case for it. When you said, if you ever need me time or alone time, like it's wrong and selfish, Christ did pull away for moments, but he was led by the Holy Spirit to go away to prepare for a season for what he's about to walk into.
And he drew from the Father.
Correct. It wasn't, I need me time to just focus on me. It wasn't about him. It was about drawing into the Father.
Right.
Right. And so I could hear people saying, well, what are you trying to say? I don't need to have alone quiet time. Sometimes I need quiet time. And it's like, no.
Yes, I agree that you need to have quiet time, but it needs to be very disciplined.
I wanted to be very specific on that because I didn't want people to think that I don't want somebody to try to beat up their spouse or themselves on that.
The point is that if you are going to draw away, you need to find renewal in the Lord.
Right. Yeah. It's not getting away so you can veg out. Really, that's the term I use here is like veg out or zone out. I just need to zone out or decompress, right? It's like, yeah, you can decompress. If you're not decompressing with the Lord, like,
what else are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate it. And I am looking forward to the next one.
What are we going to talk about next? You know?
Nope.
I don't either.
Okay. Well, this is the Chesed Marriage Podcast with Megan and Michael. And I'm going to say from now on, live to serve. We love you guys. Have a great night.